We are live. What is going on, game changers?
What's up, guys? Austin,
Booyah,
Austin asked me
Natalie.
if I'm ready, by the way. I'm always ready. You don't got to ask me that.
Every time I ask you, Peter, you ready? And I get just shaking your head every single time. Ronner Lee, Natalie, what is up,
Go ahead and
guys?
post, guys, where you're calling in from. I love seeing the international people calling in and people calling from all over the world. I love technology. So just say your name and where you're watching from, and I'm excited to get going. And by the way, guys, I appreciate your time. And we both realize that time is life's most precious commodity. So if you're going to spend time with us today, we're going to make sure that it's turned into results for you because we know how valuable time is. So thank you. It's going to be worth it. So Austin from Budapest, Tim from Baltimore, Maryland, New Jersey, Memphis, Albuquerque. It's going too fast. Kenya, Anna, Honolulu, Canada, Pierre, Art, Harold, Ben, Mike, Kim. I love
We've
it.
got people everywhere from Orange County to Africa. We've got Belfast to New Mexico. We've got New
Chi-town.
Jersey to San Francisco, Orlando, Portland. Ryan, what's up, guys?
Sandra,
Guys, you
sweet.
are in for a treat. We've got a lot to cover, so we are going to get right into it. But first, a few technical things. We've got my man Pete here on the chat. If you guys have any issues at all, it's usually just something that you can press refresh and you're good to go. But if that doesn't work, go ahead and type in the chat. Pete's there to support you. We're going to come back to all of your questions at the end. We want you guys to be hyper focused on the content because we've got some game-changing, life-changing stuff to share with you. But again, save those questions for the end, but also press refresh if you have any technical issues at all. Peter?
You got some Ohio fans, by the way. They know you're from
Really?
Ohio. Yeah, I love it.
Nice. What's up,
Uh,
Tecumseh?
I see some game changers as well. Vince, what's up? Vanessa, Phil, Ryan, Tecumseh. Good to see you guys on and hear from you guys. So here's the deal, guys. I'm ready to get going. We have a lot to cover, Austin. I want to dive in. I have some stuff that I have never really shared before. I have some stuff that I've really dug deep the last 6 months to a year to figure out how I've got to where I am now, how I went from broke to 6 and 7 figures. So I've been excited about this training for the last couple of weeks. So I'm ready to roll unless you got something else.
Let's do it. Let's get right into it, guys.
Let's get the screen going.
Let's see.
There we
guys,
go.
there's about a 45-second delay between when we're talking and when we see the chat. So we'll ask you some questions throughout. We'll come back to your comments afterwards. But Peter, let's kick it off, my friend.
What's up, Dylan, Don, Nick? I'm excited to see you guys. All right, so welcome. Here's the deal, guys. This is not just going to help you tactically. It's going to totally shift your mindset, your clarity, and your confidence. And the goal, and it took a while to have us figure out really what to come up with here, but it's really how to 5 or 6x your income, create a mindset that's unstoppable, and really help you build a network that is congruent to your wildest goals. And we're going to dive in, but here's why this is important right now, okay? It's the greatest time in human history to be an entrepreneur and to be a human being. There's more wealth being created than ever before. Check this out. There is over 300,000 new millionaires created in the US alone last year. Think about that. 300,000, let alone in the world. There's so much wealth being created. But here's the scary thing that used to blow my mind, but now I understand why. 95% of people are stressed, underpaid, and overwhelmed. They're confused what action to take. There's so much information out there. They don't know what to do next. So the fact that there's so many people crushing it and there's so much money being made, but 95% of society is struggling and underpaid, I had to create some training. And my number one focus is to give you guys value to help you become real game changers. All right. And the rich are getting richer. And now is the time for you to separate yourself from the majority and really step up your mind game, but also your action and your success as well. So I'm glad you're here because here's the opportunity cost. You're leaving thousands on the table by not knowing some of these powerful facts. You're going to leave a lot of money on the table if you don't execute or know some of these things. Let me tell you this. A lot of you guys have read my book. Some haven't. Some things I talk about, you might have heard before. But the question's not if you've heard it. Remember, the most dangerous words right now are, I already know that. The question's not if you know it. It's, have you mastered it? Does your bank account prove you know these things? Does your waistline prove you know these things? Does your business success prove that you know these things? Because a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I already know that, but they're not actually executing. So we're going to really make sure you get these facts down. And I'm going to give you a simple way to actually put them into action, okay? And I'll tell you, these last 5 or 10 years, the game has changed. What it took to succeed 5 or 10 years ago really doesn't work anymore. All right. There's a lot of myths that we're going to bust. And I'm telling you, we have dedicated the last couple of years to make sure we're as relevant and comprehensive as possible, because a lot of people are teaching stuff that doesn't work anymore. And I'm frustrated seeing that. So here's my promise to you. By the end of the training, you're going to have a clear roadmap on how to really join the 5%. And I don't mean 5% of billionaires in the world. I mean how to reach the 5% in your world, in your industry, in success to you. All right. And we're going to have a clear roadmap. And most importantly, you'll know how to reach your goals, not at someone else's expense, not sacrificing your values, not sacrificing freedom, not working for the man, but on your terms. Because I've realized as I've gotten older, there's nothing more important and more valuable than living life on your terms, your own way. And there's a specific way to do it. And if you follow these steps, you'll actually reach that, but you have to understand what the steps are and why most people don't take them. All right. So here's what we've done for you. And me and Austin have recently been working together and really focused on making sure we bring the best possible training to our audience. We've asked a lot of you guys what your goals are. We'll go over that in a second, but we've taken the training from 180 minutes down to 45. So we've simplified to where we only give you the 20% yielding the highest results. Then we're going to give you an implementation plan. And then we're going to give you real world case studies. Nothing is hopes or wishes or fluff or me thinking I know something. These are all facts based off me taking action, my trial and error, me going broke, but also interviewing hundreds of people and making sure we bring you real world case studies of what's been happening. All right. So I hope you guys are ready. And by the way, I've thought about this. People reach out to me and they get frustrated. Why didn't anyone teach me this? Why am I not learning this in school? It's not your fault. That's what you got to understand. A lot of things are being taught backwards. A lot of things aren't being given to you in a way that's actually relevant to your business. So take a step back, give yourself a deep breath. It's not your fault. I didn't learn this till later. So now is better than 10 years from now or never. So realize that it's okay if you've been doing the wrong things or have the wrong roadmap. We're going to fix that, but don't take blame because there's so much BS out there, which is one of the reasons why we decided to run these trainings. Exactly. So Austin had the idea too, to figure out what your ideal goals are and email all of you guys. So we kind of catered the training to you. So talk about that, Austin.
Yeah, exactly. So many of you guys responded via email, via Facebook, in the comments. And I want you to get clear again on what brought you here. What's your top goal right now? What's your biggest challenge? What's your biggest hurdle that you're facing? Get clear on that. Write it down again, because I want to make sure that as we go through this system, as we go through the content, you come back to accomplishing that one major thing, because I guarantee we're going to address it. All right. So write that down, circle it, star it. Just make sure that we're solving that one major thing right now. And I'm going to go through a couple of the people that responded. Michelle wants to become a social media influencer. Nicholas, and I'm talking about 6-month goals here. So go ahead and real quick, type in what your top 6-month goal is. What brought you here? All right, type that in. B wants 30,000 items sold. Mario wants to start making a difference because his job's just not cutting it. Rain wants to be working 100% remotely. All right, figure out what that is. Sometimes it's a family thing. Sometimes it's a mindset thing. Sometimes it's a money thing. Really get clear on that. So first of all, who are we? Well, guys, my name is Austin Netzley. Peter and I have been working together for a couple years now, and it really started with his book, but I'm the founder of Epic Launch. We're both #1 best-selling authors. My book is Make Money, Live Wealthy. You guys know Peter's books. We'll talk a little bit about those. But like I said, we've been working closely together, and we wanted to bring you something to show the system of how Peter has had the results that he has. All right. So I'm going to be facilitating this, sharing a couple of my stories, but really this is to show you the roadmap that Peter has had, as well as some of our students have had. All right. Together, we've made 6 figures in 12 different industries. All right. Between investing in my first investing company was day trading. We've done real estate. We've done sales. I was in the corporate world for 5.5 years where I made 6 figures, authorship, and on down the list, 12 different industries combined. Now we're simplifying that system to show you the blueprint here. So first of all, our relationship started with 6 months to 6 figures. And how many of you guys have read this book? Go ahead and type in the chat if you have, because if you haven't, I don't know what you're doing. Maybe you need to stop this and go get that book right now. But we've sold over 200,000 copies of this book. Peter, this book has changed so many lives all throughout the world. And we've got thousands and thousands and thousands of reviews to kind of prove that out. The book has been on the front page of Audible for well over 1.5 years now, which is pretty crazy, next to Tony Robbins and Dale Carnegie and some of the best books of all time. Like, it's crazy. So, Peter, you've been featured in the biggest outlets. You're regularly featured almost every single month in Forbes and Entrepreneur, even Time and Huffington Post and Inc. and just the biggest outlets. And now you're speaking on the biggest stages. And this is funny to me because, we first connected about 2.5 years ago where this wasn't your life then. You didn't have these types of results. And now you've been named along with Gary Vaynerchuk and Ramit Sethi and Marie Forleo as one of the top millennial mentors to follow, which has been awesome to see. And I know you guys, look, Sital has read it twice. Lena loves it. Yes, read it multiple times. Keep reading that book, guys, because it will change your life. But Peter, it hasn't always been like this, right?
No, I want people to realize, and I used to, when I was involved in a lot of trainings and I was involved in masterminds, I used to kind of separate myself from the people at the top. Like, I could never do that. But then I realized when I started talking, they went through challenges and failures. So my road to success was paved with frustration and failures and me adapting and adjusting and figuring out what the heck what was I meant to do. So I didn't build this overnight, but after working with like thousands of entrepreneurs, I don't like using the word shortcut, Austin, but there's an easier way to do it. There's 4,000 ways to get to an end result, but there's one optimal way. And the first couple of years, I was not using the optimal way. I was doing it the hard way. So when I look at those accomplishments, it's pretty crazy because I went through a lot of struggles and failures and insecurities and frustrations that most people never see or hear about.
Right.
And my number one failure, I think, at the beginning was I thought motivation and ambition were enough for me to be successful in entrepreneurship. I had motivation, I had ambition. I'm like, I'm ready to go. I got energy. And quickly I realized, I was the most motivated person I met at that time. I was fired up, but I was broke and I couldn't afford the drive-through. So the fact that I was super motivated and ambitious and I was broke, I'm like, something has to change. How in the world is this possible where I'm working 50, 60 hours a week? And then I go to society and I ask them, a lot of people around me, I'm broke and I'm working hard. What's the deal? I need help. I'm like 20, 21. And here's the answer. Oh, work harder. So I work 70 hours a week. I wasn't getting results. Here's the answer from society as always. Work harder. It's the stupidest answer now that I really am more experienced. So I worked 80 hours. And then I was working, instead of 50, I was working 80, but I wasn't getting any results. So that's, at that point, Austin, I literally almost was going to give up and take the easy route and maybe work for somebody else. So here's my crossroads. And I want to explain this to you guys and add this in the training to have you understand it wasn't always like this. I had to go through some tougher decisions. So when I was struggling and I lost all my savings and I was frustrated and discouraged, here's my options. Okay, here's my options. Number one, I abandon my dream of entrepreneurship and try something else. Or I settle for an average job while building someone else's dream. Or number two, I figure it out. It's not really much more complicated than that. People like to overcomplicate things. I could either abandon my dream or I could figure it out. Same with you all. We don't need to dive in now, Austin, but you had the corporate job where you were doing well, then you hated it. You could either keep doing that and hate it, or you could figure out entrepreneurship. You did the same thing. Yep. So for me, here's what I did first. I sold myself and I made the definite decision that I was going to make this work. I saw too many people around me struggling. I saw my parents, friends struggling. I saw people complain and bitch and hate what they do. And I just saw so many instances where it's like, I have to make the tougher decision. And the tougher decision you make in the moment, the more regret that you kill later, to where you're actually satisfied because you made the tough decision. So I challenge you right now. My challenge to you is make the decision. It doesn't have to be full-on entrepreneur. I'm just telling you to make the definite decision that you're going to level up. There's another level of success for each person, right? And I'm telling you right now, I know 15 and 16-year-olds making $500,000 plus, and I know broke 40-year-olds. So it's age is irrelevant these days. But I'm telling you, you have to make a definite decision, because if you have 1% doubt, you're out. You're going to take the doubt. As human beings, it's the weirdest thing. I've trained 6,000 plus entrepreneurs and sales professionals, and the people that have done the best, age was irrelevant. But when the records were broken, Austin, when they were breaking records, making six figures at 19, 20 years old, I was training these people. The ones that really crushed it, they didn't have 1% doubt. They're like, no, I'm going to do it. They weren't like, well, I'm going to do it, but just in case, I got to have this other side. No. It's 1% doubt, you're out. So you got to go all in. And you got to figure out how to make your dreams a reality. And that's what we're here to help you do. And even right now, I'm getting super passionate. And I want to share with you guys too. Me and Austin made a promise. We don't want this training to be perfect. We want to be authentic. So if we mess up or go over or go under, we don't care. Our number one focus is just to give you value and answer your question. But simplifying everything I've done to my biggest failure is right there. I tried to do it all myself. My mindset was, I don't think people can do it as good as me. I don't think people are connected to my vision as big as me. I don't know if people can relate and want to work extra hours like I do. So I just have to figure it all out on my own. And it gives me chills, because I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars.
At least, right? Like everybody, I don't know. This hits home for me as well, is trying to figure it all out myself. And I just take myself back, let's say even 6 years ago, before I started in personal development and all this, man, this is it. Stop trying to do it all yourself. Like I know we're getting ahead of ourselves here, but this is why you fail. This is why so many people fail.
Yep. And it's just, it can be prevented. That's the key. And why I succeeded is I built $1 million network. We're going to dive into this deep, but that's really the reason I succeeded, is I elevated my circle of influence and built a network congruent to my goals. So here's what I've learned from my own experiences and working with 6,000 plus entrepreneurs, sales professionals, leaders, but also being around some of the biggest in the game. Here's what I've learned. Here's the first game changers truth that we're going to go through. We have a couple of these for you. Your circle of influence is the single most important thing that you can focus on, because it impacts every other area of your life: confidence, clarity, income, opportunities, leverage, success, growth, business. Your age, location, and education. This is funny, because most of society, the old school people, they think that all that matters is your age, your education, and where you're from. So it's funny how it's totally backwards from actual truth. It's just, I laugh looking at that. Like some people
that you have right now, whatever story you're telling yourself, we're going to bust that. We're going to show some specific real world examples about how people from all different industries and ages and locations are just absolutely crushing it by doing the things that we're talking about here.
Let's dive into the 6 steps. I really want to go in. This is kind of like an overnight strategy to forever change your network. And of course, with your network becomes opportunities and income. So this really totally transformed my confidence, but also my clarity on what's next, because they can kind of tell you where to go next. And when I was dead broke, so let's step 1, evaluate your circle of influence. For me, when I was dead broke, I realized that most people around me were okay with being broke. So I evaluated who I was around. I evaluated, and we're going to give you the 3 pieces to $1 million network, but I was evaluating how the people around me made me think. How did they affect my action? How did they affect my standards? So you need to literally, you don't need to do this right now, but take notes. Evaluate the people you spend the most time with. Do they challenge you to think at the highest level? Do they have the results that you're striving to get? Or are they holding you back because as you get more confident, their insecurities want to pull you down to their level? I had to do this because I realized when I was broke, I heard a quote, we're going to go through it, but if you want to be around millionaires, talk to billionaires, you'll get there quicker. Mm-hmm. So the 3 pieces to $1 million network, right? 1, support. 2, peers. And 3, mentor. So support is people around you are they building you up, right? Do they have the same vision as you? Is there a support system that has your back if you're going through tough times? Right? Peers, players that you can bounce ideas off, your business partners, people that are around your circle, maybe in your mastermind. The closest 5 that you have as peers should be living the lifestyle that you strive for. And of course, mentors, this has been huge for me, people who are challenging you, raising your standards, and really elevating your thinking and giving you a proven roadmap. This is called the power of anticipation, where they can tell you what's next and teach you how to avoid the pitfalls so you can cut your learning curve in half. Let me tell you an interesting story. I'm going to fast forward a second to where when I was finally, after I followed these steps, I was making money. I was 23 and I had 120 or 30. My point here, by the way, guys, is when you actually do these things, this doesn't take 6 years to build up. This is like pretty quick success. I went from broke to 6 figures and then $350,000, right? When I was 23, 24. So I had 120 something grand saved. And I got a millionaire mentor, Jordan Weirs, which we'll talk about. And he said, I thought I was on top of the world. I had 120 grand saved. I had more than every one of my friends. I'm thinking, I'm like, dude, this is amazing. I'm retiring. I didn't think that, but I was like, I could take some time off. And he literally talks to me on the phone and he goes, you're kidding me. He goes, that's nothing. And I'm like, what do you mean? It's 120 grand. It's more than all my friends. He's like, you're totally thinking backwards. I had that when I was 18. I'm like, geez. So anyways, the point of that is that changed the trajectory of my life, Austin, because I might have got complacent and not have been as hungry as I am now because I would have slowed up. But he's like, that's nothing. You got to go for the 7 figures. That's why you have to have mentors. I'll never forget that moment. It wasn't about the 120K. It was about my standards being forever raised because someone I was around was playing at a higher level. I'll never forget that moment. So that's why mentors, number 3, is so important. And there's no particular order in this as well, but you've kind of brought this up a lot, Austin, too, is support, peers, mentors. So that's a game changer.
Yeah, I mean, you've really got to evaluate each one of these 3. All right. Most people don't even have number 3, right? They don't even have a coach or a mentor. They don't have somebody guiding them and paving the way. But the main one is really starting with your support, your family and your friends, like the people that you're around day to day. Literally write those people down and put either a green arrow up or a red arrow down. Are they helping support you towards your goals? Or are they helping hold you back? And we'll talk about even one toxic person. That's all it takes. One toxic person to hold you back. And we'll get into that.
Yep. And people keep asking, what do you consider a mentor? Someone that challenges you, that already has the results you want, that has your best interest in mind. That's it. Okay. Step 2, create your make it or break it list. So you need to write out. There's 2 types of friends and people you can have around you. There's the maintenance friends and the growth friends. Maintenance friends are people that maybe you've had a friendship with them for a long time. You feel bad because you knew them in high school or middle school, and you're like, well, I knew them back then, but they really don't challenge you and hold you to high standards. Or you're growing and the conversation is not as relevant anymore. Like you don't really relate. And then there's the growth friends that really, when you're around them, you feel like you can run through walls. Like you're ready to elevate your game and step up and invest in yourself and really just go for big goals. So you need to create a list. And I did this. I only teach things I actually did and I've seen results from. So create a make it or break it list, which is your top 5 maintenance friends and a list of your top 5 growth friends. And you might not have all the growth friends yet, but make a list of friends that you actually see as potential growth friends. And then simply put, you want to write out their income, their mindset, what's relevant to you that you like about them. And then you simply need to lower the time you spend with your maintenance friends and increase the time you spend with your growth friends. This takes care of itself results-wise. You don't need to do anything else. Lower the time with maintenance, increase the time with growth, and you're going to see subconsciously your standards raise, your results raise, your focus raise, and your clarity raise as well. You've done it, Austin. You did not have a good network back in the day, as you've told me. So keep that in mind. And then here's number 3. My mentor told me as well, I was very lucky to have mentors at a young age. He said, Peter, you have to understand the most important decision you'll ever make more than any business decision, more than any decision financially, is who you surround yourself. And for me, he also said who you choose to spend the rest of your life with.
Yep.
I'm like, whoa, what does that have to do with business? He goes, trust me. He goes, the number one thing I see in business is the significant other holds them back versus propels them forward. And I'm like 24, 25, like I don't really get that importance. But now being married, I see the biggest, that's a game changer. And I see friends of mine and some people that don't have the right spouse. And it sounds harsh, but I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat. You got to find someone that's going to ride or die for you, that understands entrepreneurship, that understands your lifestyle, that has similar goals, and you can communicate together. So that's a big key.
Yep.
I mean, that's it. And there's some tough decisions that need to be made. So put the next one. The tough decision is who to cut out of your life that's really not going anywhere or holding you back or complaining or moaning about society and about their circumstances versus creating and taking responsibility for their life.
Guys, this is not
You have
easy.
stories here. Go ahead, Austin.
This is not easy, but we're listing these things out because they matter. All right. There's a few hundred people here on live with us right now. And I guarantee there's probably only about 40 of you that are going to take action on this thing right here. And those 40, when we talk in 2 weeks, when we talk in 2 months, you're going to be a whole new person. Even today, or this year, not today, but even like the last couple months, I've still had to make some tough decisions to cut some people out of my life. Sometimes it's family members. Sometimes it's your best friends. Now, if it is somebody like that, you don't have to take them to 0% and never talk to them, but you've got to make the tough decision. You've got to have the conversation of, hey, we aren't going to be able to spend the same amount of time together. Here's where I'm going with my life, and I just need some time for that. I need to focus on that. I've had to go through, I remember I was in Jacksonville, Florida. I brought my best friends that I was hanging out with every single day. They were making an average of $35,000 a year, and they were fine with that. They just wanted to party and hang out and go golfing. And I sat them down on my couch and I said, you know what? I'm going a different direction in my life and we can't hang out anymore. And just like that, I pulled the Band-Aid off. And as soon as they walked out the door, I was a whole new person. Guess what? I went on to set an income record for myself that year. And then I went on to the next level and next level and next level. Even this year, I had to let an employee go that was negative. I had to break up with my girlfriend because she was just so negative and holding me back personally. The tough decision never leaves you, but you've got to make it. Trust me, it'll change your life.
And it gets worse over time if you don't make the tough decision now. Exactly. It gets harder and harder. And sometimes the things that people don't want to hear are the things they need to hear the most. Yeah. So here's the cool thing. I've noticed in the last couple of years when people come to me and say, I did this, people respect them more. And here's the cool thing. The right people actually will step up and say, you know, you're right. I shouldn't be satisfied making 35 grand a year when there's 13-year-olds making 600,000. I shouldn't be satisfied with that. Right. Now, when Austin said his friends make 35 grand, we are not saying it's bad to make 35 grand, and we're not dissing anyone that makes the money trying to survive. We're saying if you're satisfied with it, that's a huge problem. You know what I mean? So keep that in mind as well. So, and then what I did is I found a mastermind network, and I found multiple mastermind networks the last couple of years, because here's the deal. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. You want to find people that consistently level up your thinking like Jordan did for me. And I've been lucky to have mentors like Gary Vaynerchuk and Eric Thomas and Grant Cardone when I didn't have any network a while back. So you have to choose the right network and the right mentor. And Austin, you've done some training on this. And I think people are taking too many opinions and choosing anyone as a mentor when you need to be strategic and intentional with who you choose.
Before we talk about the mentor real quick, Mastermind Network, guys, there's 7 billion people out there in the world. No matter what your interests are, no matter what your goals are, there are people just like you, just as ambitious as you, that have the same goals, dreams, passions, values. You got to find those people. All right, you can look offline, such as like meetup.com or Toastmasters or something like that. I did both of those at first, but also the best thing is to find them online. because they can be anywhere throughout the world. There's a
Absolutely.
lot of people just like you. Don't think that you're one of a kind. I guarantee if you have some very special interest niche in this gaming thing about, dragons or something, guess what? There's probably 20,000 people that have that same exact super passionate niche about this dragon game. And I'm just making up a weird example to give you guys an example. Hopefully that's not yours, but there's people just like you. So find them. Next is, this word is important here with this one, Peter. It's choose. All right. A lot of people ask us how to find a mentor, but here's the thing is usually that mentor is already in your life.
Yep. Someone you're already following, maybe.
You're already following, you're already connected with at a company. You already some way, shape, or form know. You've just got to choose. It's much harder to go out and find somebody from scratch. Start with somebody in your network. Somebody who's 3 steps ahead of you at what you want to accomplish. But the other important thing is somebody that's got the same values as you, somebody that's got the lifestyle, right? Peter, one of my favorite things that you talk about is building a world-class life and business, right? World-class. That means in all areas. If you're, working and killing the work, but you got a 0 out of 10 family life, like that's not what we're after, right? And probably that's not what you guys are here after either. So follow people, choose somebody that has the same values as you.
And like you said, Austin, you might already be following that person, someone that you respect, that you appreciate, that you can relate to as well. You know what I mean? They don't have to, people always say, I live in a small town. We both grew up in small towns. And I realized that I had mentors online. I didn't even realize because I was too busy trying to find them in my town when there wasn't none in my town, right? Yeah. So choose, a lot of people settle for a mentor. No, choose a mentor strategically. And one of the things Jordan taught me, one of the first things, he says, a smart person learns from their mistakes, as all successful people do. But those wanting world-class results learn from other people's mistakes so they can shorten their learning curve and not waste as much time making the same ones. Jordan made his first $1 million when he was 21. I wanted to make my first $1 million. I had all these mentors that were making 6 figures. I wanted to elevate, so he taught me that. He's the one that obviously has elevated my game. Another thing that he taught me, as well as another mentor of mine, Isaac Tolpin, was start taking less opinions. Only listen to a few voices of value. Now, when I really heard this, I took it to heart and it really hit home with me because I was listening to everybody. Anyone that had an opinion, I was listening to. I was watching every video on YouTube. I was watching all these things and I was overwhelmed. So you need to focus on mastery. But for the next couple of months, I didn't take opinions from 98% of people out there that were throwing them at me. I still respected people, but it went in one ear and out the other. And I realized, Austin, as I started taking opinions from people that A, I wanted to trade places with, B, that had similar values and results to me, clarity started happening without me doing anything. Because I started taking smaller pieces of advice from the right people versus advice from anyone.
It's huge.
So this was a game changer for me as well. And people have to realize as your vision gets bigger, your circle gets smaller. As your confidence grows, the vision grows, as the bank account grows, it's going to be harder to relate and connect with people that aren't growing. As you grow, those who don't become unattractive. It's subconscious. Right? So whenever you have big goals, you can't expect others to follow you because you're going to represent the strength, courage, and vision they don't yet have. You're never going to find real game changers hanging out with those who settle or feel bad if they don't talk to someone they knew in high school. Right? So you got to realize that maybe you guys are already at this stage where your vision's getting bigger and it seems like your friend group's going down. That's normal. So I want you to feel good about that. Don't feel bad. Entrepreneurship sometimes is lonely, which is why we want to bring all you guys together.
Yep, exactly.
Next.
And guys, here's a fact. Like, like my excuse early on was I live in a small town in Ohio. Like I don't have millionaires around me. There's not people doing this. There's not people doing that. Right. But here's the thing is like everyone that you look at, you're like, man, that person has an amazing network. They're just so connected. Guess what? They started at 0. Peter started at 0. All right. I started at 0. Peter's from a small town in Oregon. Now he's connected with Gary Vee, Ty Lopez, good friends with Ryan Blair. You're flying on jets with him every weekend. Les Brown, like on down the list. Everybody starts at 0. So get that excuse out of your mind and it'll open you up to, you know what? I may be at where I'm at right now, but I know 6 months from now, I'm not going to be in that same spot. And I know 6 months after that, I'm not going to be in that same spot.
And I looked up my population of the town I grew up in, and it was 8,500. So
Wow.
I don't know what yours was probably a lot bigger when you say small town. Maybe not.
It was actually 22,000.
Yeah. So 8,000, you guys have to understand. I didn't even have zero network. I had a negative network. Like they were dragging me down, not up. So keep that in mind. That's like negative. So the bonus here's the cool thing that I've realized, and you've heard me talk about this if you follow me, your circle of influence impacts all other areas of your life, and how you do anything is how you do everything, right? How you do anything is how you do everything. Usually if you don't have good network, you don't have good health. And if you don't have good health, you don't make the right decisions, and you have you don't have financial freedom, you have money issues. If you don't like what you do, you play victim versus leader, you don't have a world-class lifestyle. So cutting corner in one area, it's easier to cut corners in every other area, right? So get around game changers. If you hang around 5 intelligent people, you'll be the 6th. That's just a fact. If you hang out with 5 confident people, you'll be the 6th. That's just the facts of life. If you hang out with 5 millionaires, eventually you'll be the 6th millionaire. It's inevitable. But if you hang out with 5 idiots, what do you think's going to happen? Or if you who do alcoholics hang out with? If you hang out with 5 alcoholics, you'll be the 6th. That's just a fact. So that's why it's so important here. And I want to nail this home, right? So the top 2 goals, Austin, you did a lot of the research, you and Pete. We emailed we got thousands of people to be excited about what their top goals are. And you guys narrowed them down to, out of a ton of people, there were some common themes. What were the top common themes?
It comes back to number 1, the mindset, right? How many of you guys want this? More clarity and direction, right? Or more confidence. And we're going to dive deeper into this one. And number 2, it comes back to making more money without the overwhelm, right? Making more money in less time. You guys are all busy. You guys are taking some time out of your busy life, your busy schedule right now, committing to improving your future. So what we're going to do is break these top 2 goals down with some specific strategies, some specific results of real world people, not just our results, but other people who you've probably never heard of. We're going to show you exactly how to do that. So Peter, let's get started by talking about something that I'm super passionate about, that you've helped me with, and that's building a bulletproof mindset.
And to be honest, guys, I'm going to call you out in a nice way for the value of the group. Austin didn't always have confidence. He struggled with confidence. And now he has bulletproof confidence. So realize that, and he's made 7 figures. So you don't have to have bulletproof confidence now. So understand that, all right? But the number 1 key is clarity. When you have clarity, you start having confidence, right? When you have ambition and you have clarity mixed, it's easier to make the right decisions. Here's the difference here, though. Broke people think clarity comes through a lot of thinking. Wealthy, clarity comes from action. When you take action, when you adapt and adjust, when you're actually out there grinding, you're going to gain clarity. You're not going to gain clarity from sitting around thinking all day. It doesn't work that way. So let me give you a simple system I created 3.5, maybe 4 years ago that I've used for 4 years now, and it's been a game changer for me. So you have to master yourself first. You have to know how to spark your own fire. You have to know what drives you, right? You have to know what you want, what your values are. You have to clearly identify your end results, and we're going to dive in deeper. But you have to get feedback from other people, from mentors, from peers, so you can cut your learning curve in half, right? And then you have to know the first step. Now, you don't have to be all in and think this is the end all be all first step. You just have to have some type of clarity on the first step, take action, then adapt and adjust, right?
Yep, exactly. So, and the big idea from this is just like letting go a little bit, right? Like we are all in our head. I don't know about you guys, but this was me. I was all in my head trying to figure it all out myself and trying to know my exact steps from being in debt to making $1 million. I wanted to know every single step. No, just get started. It comes through activity. It comes from asking people, and boom, get a little bit of direction. All you know is steps A and B. Guess what? Steps C and D become clear. And steps E and F after that, right? Just get into motion. It's about momentum.
And listen, guys, go back real quick. Listen, guys, when I say know your first step and we're talking about mastering yourself and getting around people, they're going to give you what to do next. You don't have to figure it out on your own, right? That's the key here. People are like, well, what's the first step? Get around people that already have the results you want, and they will cut your learning curve in half. People come up to me every day and say, I have all these ideas. Yeah, so does 4-year-olds. I don't care about ideas. I care about tested ideas that have feedback. So the reality is, when you have ideas, take some action, get some feedback, and then adapt and adjust here. That's what we're saying. That's where clarity comes from. Thinkers get confused. Doers gain clarity and make money. Mm-hmm. Next, confidence. This is your most important account, not your bank account, your confidence account. Every decision you make makes you. And here's the scary thing I realized back in 2012 or 13. Every decision you make throughout the day and night, you either help or hurt your confidence. There's no in between. Yep. Most people are making the easier decisions and it's hurting their confidence. So you have a confidence account. Everything you've accomplished up to this point is based on that account. So you have to choose growth in the moment, make the tougher decisions. When I made the tough decision to be an entrepreneur, not to go back to an average job, my confidence skyrocketed. When I elevated my circle of influence, my confidence skyrocketed. Right? When I stay in on a Friday night and look at my goals and I study and master my craft, when all my friends go out and spend money they don't have drinking, then my confidence goes up, theirs goes down. Right? So it's making the tough decisions in the moment that are really going to help. And that's a game changer. So understand from this moment forward, this is something you could take with you right away. I commend you for being on this webinar because most people probably made the easy decision to go hang out with friends. Oh, I don't want to sit and learn something. And you're the ones that are going to elevate your game and crush their confidence crush your confidence because you're making the tough decision. So,
yep. And here's why, like, your confidence account is your most important account. Let's just talk about an example related to poker. All right. So let's say that you have 10 chips and I have 100. All right. You're going to play more cautiously than I am. You're going to take less risk. You're going to move a little bit slower. Because if you lose 10 chips on a bet, guess what? You're out. You're done. But if I lose 10 chips, I still got 90 left, right? Your confidence is the same exact thing. With confidence, you move quicker. You take more action. And you guys are here because you know that that's going to lead to results, right?
100%. So you have to identify what's been killing your confidence in the past. Okay, a lot of things kill your confidence. Maybe it's sleeping in. Maybe it's procrastination. Maybe it's having a boss that puts you down. People, information, decisions, toxic people, too much information, eating unhealthy, going to bed late, being around people to validate mediocrity. I don't know your situation. I really wish I could sit down with each of you guys, like right now, and just connect with you for a half hour and figure it out. But the reality is you need to figure out what are your top 3 to 5 confidence killers in the last 6 months that have held you back from going to a whole new stratosphere of results. One of my biggest, 100%. And usually I tell people, identify the 1 or 2 that's making the bigger difference that you can fix right away. One of mine was I had a really bad morning routine. So I would challenge you to get a good morning routine that sets you up to win the day. I don't know what that means to you, but make sure your morning routine sets you up to have an amazing day. You're in the right state of mind. You know what action you're taking. You do your profit producing things first. Set yourself up for a winning day. And here's the hidden side of confidence. A lot of people undervalue who they are, what skills they have, and they're not paid what they're worth. So this is hidden because people don't know this. And there's gurus out there preaching the wrong things that worked in 1996. This is hidden. You have to understand your self-worth in order to get the value that you want, but people will pay whatever value you confidently ask.
Yep, exactly. So what you get paid comes down to 2 things. It comes down to your positioning, and it comes down to your confidence, really. And at first, when I started my online business, I had neither of those things. And guess what? In 9 months, I made $2,200 total. It was like $2 an hour or less. It was probably $1 an hour when I broke it down. I was actually losing money with expenses, which was crazy. But then when I changed those 2 things, positioning, confidence, guess what? Things totally changed. Here's what happened. This is a real world case study of the first month of Epic launch. I started out the month offering a program for $397. I got some momentum. I got some results. I improved my positioning. I took my confidence to entirely new levels, and I started selling $10,000 packages all in 1 month. This wasn't a year's transition. This was in 1 month. That's what momentum is all about, guys. My first month of Epic launch, we had $106,000 in sales due to those two things, positioning and confidence. And Peter, you've helped me with this a ton.
And what was it? It was a decision. It wasn't like, let's see, maybe. It was I'm going to charge more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, some people say I'm going to charge more. Then their circle of influence says, oh, you can't charge that much. No, Austin luckily had the first step, which is network. So when he said I'm charging more, his network goes, smart idea. See the difference there? What if everyone around you, Austin, was saying, you know what? I don't think you should charge more. You might be in a whole different situation right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So network is everything. Next.
And that confidence, like when I was on the sales calls, if I didn't have 100% confidence that $10,000 was a no-brainer, guess what? My conversion rate would have gone from 80% down to 10%, right? And I would not have had $106,000 in sales.
Why did I go with you to help market my book and help promote my book and help do my book? Because your confidence, to be honest. Yep. So if you would have came to me with some insecurity and be like, I think we can make your book a bit, I would have been like, nah, sorry. You know what I mean? So it helps. Okay, Game Changers Truth. Another one. Confidence is a muscle that is built with the right environment and habits. This is like buying a bond or watching grass grow. You cannot read a book and then all of a sudden you have confidence. Yep. Okay, you have to do these things. We created a 6X strategy to help you earn more income in less time. But you got to understand, you're not going to get off this webinar and training and all of a sudden have the confidence of like Michael Jordan. It just doesn't happen. It's over time, right? It's a muscle that's built to make the tough decisions day in and day out and getting around people that have confidence. So here's my failure. Like I told you earlier, I tried to do everything myself. And here's what the cost of it was. It took me way more time. I had a lot more stress. Actually, I didn't just have worse results. I had no results. I was working all the time. That's why I started giving up and saying, my friends are working 40 hours a week and making a comfortable 30K. I'm working 80 hours making nothing. Now I realize that's kind of the entrepreneur way. You got to sacrifice a lot to eventually make more. But I realize that now, guys, I travel everywhere. If you watch my Snapchat and Instagram, I travel to tons of different countries. I'm gone 3 weeks out of the month. Just in Mexico, was in Vegas, was in Dubai, was in Tulum, was in Colorado, was in Utah. I travel all the time.
You're in Vegas right now?
Vegas right now. I don't say this to brag or say, look at me. I say this because I remember sitting in my house in my 1-bedroom apartment being like, I don't have any money to go to the drive-thru. I can't travel anywhere. I didn't have enough money to go back home to see my family. And to where you fast forward a couple of years and I'm traveling the world, it's humbling. And what I want you guys to understand fully is it's one thing to succeed yourself. I don't get that much enjoyment anymore from succeeding myself. All my joy comes from helping create game changers. That's why we're doing this. There's 4,000 things I could be doing right now and not run this training, to be honest. But I like this because it's fulfillment for me to really teach you, because too many people are struggling and I can't stand all the BS being taught out there. So this is the strategy that actually helped me go from broke to a great lifestyle. Let's dive into these. And luckily, me and you match on all these, Austin. Reverse engineer what works. Don't guess or hope. I was talking to someone yesterday and they were trying to purchase this new company. And I'm like, are you going to reverse engineer? Does it match your values? Is it going to keep you engaged and fascinated in the next couple of years? They're like, wow, I never thought about any of those. And he's like, maybe I shouldn't do this. None of it matches values. He was just going for something quick that can make money. So that's why you have to reverse engineer the stuff that's already worked and fast forward 6 months from now. What is your ideal outcome that's relevant to your vision and your values? Don't base it off your insecurities or your past. Base it off your potential and what's possible. And then you find the right mentors. But once you reverse engineer, then you have to optimize your positioning and make sure you position your company or your brand as the leading company, as the go-to source. So you don't have to chase people, they come to you. So you need to figure out what makes your business different, what makes you unique, right? And then take control of your agenda and calendar. Either you run your day or your day runs you. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be so reactive in the day, reacting to other people's messages, emails, phone calls. You need to be in full control, focused, and make sure you're consistently not only making sure your company is positioned as the best, but you're only taking on things that you're sold on that you know is going to help your end result.
Yep.
And next, this is a big one. Ship quicker. Austin, you just posted in our academy actually about shipping quicker and how you used to be a perfectionist. And personally, myself, guys, perfectionism has cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars. So what I mean by ship quicker is get your product out there and get feedback. You want experimentation, not perfection. Yeah. Test, ship quick, get feedback, come back, edit, adjust, ship quicker. And then of course, there's 1,000 actions to take, but there's a few that actually matter. There's a few that actually is going to produce growth in your business. And one of the most important pieces of productivity is working on the right actions, the ones that have been proven to get results, the ones that mentors and people that have been there can tell you, hey, do these and don't do these. I see people every week, tell me if you have as well, Austin, that reach out that are like working 70 hours a week, but they're actually not doing the couple things that they're scared to do that actually get them results. That's like the one thing they're not doing is what gets them real results.
And one of the most popular words right now is hustle, right? And people will think like if they're busy, that means they're successful. No, we showed the picture of Peter's lifestyle, and AKA those pictures, just so you guys know, are like the real deal. I talk to Peter every day. He's somewhere new every time I talk to him. Like he's not just posting that as some front. Like the dude knows what the
Your first question to me is where you at always.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny.
So let's go through some income producing activities because everybody really needs to know what some examples are.
Yep, I love it. So first, positioning. Like how can you position your company as the number one company? How can you get testimonials, endorsements? How can you figure out a way to maybe give your services away for free to influencers so they can promote you, right? Networking. Another way to make sure your business gets out there is networking with people that your company solves their problem. But here's my favorite that no one thinks about: marketing. All right. Most people spend 80 to 90% on the creating, on the doing, on the actual product. My product's the best. Who cares? I know people that are making millions with a crappy product and people that have the best product on earth that make no money because they're not marketing. You should be spending 60, 70, 80% of your time on marketing your business, your skills, your expertise, your value, your product, not on the doing. So you should always be doing marketing. And then of course, on top of marketing, sales, making sure you get out there and sell your product. Why do a lot of artists, Austin, become broke? They have amazing artwork, but they can't sell themselves out of a paper bag, right? That's why you can hire people. You don't need to randomly become the best salesperson on earth. Hire people. There's a lot of hungry young people that want to be amazing, that want to promote products they believe in, that can get great at sales so you can scale your influence. But these are the four that I don't think we should talk about anymore, to be honest.
Yeah, there are more, but figure out what it is for you. Take some time after this to figure out what are the most important things that are going to drive your business forward, and challenge yourself, because you're probably like I was, where I was spending not only 90%, probably 95% of my time on the back end and forgetting about the marketing, forgetting about the sales, forgetting about looking at strategic partnerships and networking, right?
So let's go through an actual example. So Josh, who invested in a program of ours, 17 years old, from New Zealand, and he was okay, didn't have any network. He didn't really know exactly what he wanted to do at all. Very, very, I don't want to say confused, but had no clue. He was making about $1,700 a month, which is great, but.
And this was even December. This was December.
Yeah, this was December. And he totally shifted his circle of influence and took some stuff that we taught him to heart. Now, he didn't just think about it. He actually executed. He changed his circle of influence. He used the 6X strategy. He learned from mentors like me and Austin. He improved his positioning, which that was a game changer, I remember. Yeah. He got feedback and he shipped. He focused on the right actions consistently. And what happened is he's making over 10 grand a month. And this is 3 months later. It's actually above 11 now, by the way, just to make it accurate. But he's making around 11, a little over 11,000 now. And by the way, he started making 10 grand on his 17th birthday. He posted, which is pretty cool. But, and by the way, don't look at, if you're 35 years old, don't sit there and go, man, he's 17. I should have started. No. That's irrelevant. Don't focus on the past. Focus on right now. The worst thing to do is continue doing the same thing. You have to start adapting and adjusting so you can start making 10 grand. And he's in school. He's in high school. So a lot of times when I reach out to him, he's like, oh, I'm in science class. I'm like, geez, you're making more than your teachers. It's kind of funny. Making more than his teachers. How do you pay attention?
Yeah, guys. I mean, this story inspires me because, well, first of all, at 17 years old, I was not focused on success. I was partying and focused on girls.
Cow tipping in Ohio.
Cow tipping in Ohio, in the middle of the cornfields. Guys, he's 17 years old in high school in New Zealand in a city where he doesn't have any entrepreneur friends. And this is what he's achieved. All right. Amazing. It works for anybody. So go back to what that excuse is, what's that story is that you're telling yourself you don't live in the right spot, or you don't have the right education, or you don't have this, that, or the other. And look out there. There are examples by implementing simple things. We went through the 6X strategy, and guess what? He more than 6X'd his results.
100%. Can you hear me, Austin?
Yep.
I was on mute. So the results of applying this, like we've already kind of talked about, more clarity, more confidence, and of course, more income in less time. So let's kind of recap, but I want to go through this truth real quick. Time is not the issue. Everyone has the same time. You have the same time as Elon Musk, right? Mm-hmm. Tony Robbins. I mean, everybody. Time is not the issue. It's focus, priorities, and letting go that actually matter. It's focusing on the right actions. It's leveraging technology and not doing everything yourself, right? So let's kind of simplify and recap so you guys kind of have some action items. Lesson number 1, build your $1 million network starting now, not next week, not 6 months from now, right now. And it'll forever change your life, as you only can experience if you do it. Yep. The myths. It doesn't matter where you live or what connections you have now. Like the fact that I was speaking with Robert Herjavec from Shark Tank a little bit ago, and I came from a small town and knew nobody, is mind-boggling to me. This guy from Impact Theory, Tom Bayou or something, just reached out today, and I guess he runs a pretty big company, is reaching out to me. You know what I mean? The people that are reaching out is pretty amazing. People are asking me for certain things that I never thought they even knew who I was, you know what I mean, which is awesome. How? 3 core pieces: support, network, and mentor. Not 2 of those, 3 of those, right? Lesson 2, build a bulletproof mindset and gain 100% certainty and clarity once and for all. And it doesn't mean you have to have the know-all, be-all action plan for the next year and nothing changes. You're going to adapt and adjust. But what we mean by that is make sure you know what action to take next. And if it's not the perfect action, adapt and adjust. The myths. Thinking clarity comes through thoughts. No, it doesn't. It comes through action. How? Create the right environment and simply execute on the daily habits that are proven. And you're going to start seeing your confidence go up. 3, scale your income and live life on your terms by working right. People say work harder, and then some people even say work smarter. I know people that work smart and they're making $30K a year. It's about working right? And the myth here is I can do it all myself. More information is a good thing. No, it's not. Here's the reality. You need to focus on the right information and get the right people on your team. How? Learn from the successful people. Focus on mastery versus overload, and make sure you're focusing on high leverage activities. How do you know what those are? Find a mentor. And the number 1 piece that impacts everything, and it was kind of it wasn't an aha moment. We already knew this, Austin, but it just kind of, how many times have we talked on the phone to make sure this training was top notch? Like tons. And we realized it's crazy. Circle of influence, we'll talk about it, but look at all it affects: clarity, opportunities, connections, positioning, motivation, confidence, guidance, money, flexibility, lifestyle, freedom. Circle of influence affects every single one of those. Every single one of those, right? So here's the deal, guys. Let me ask you a question. Most people are not cutting their learning curve in half. And I want to know from you guys if you want to do this fast or slow. Right? I'm not sure why you showed up here today. It might be you're sick of treading water in your business. You feel like your business is running you versus you running your business, right? Maybe it's because you're frustrated because your vlog or your videos or podcast isn't making money, or you don't know how to position yourself, or because you're making money, but you're sick of trading time for money and you want some leverage, or you're sick of working for someone and making them rich when you can make yourself wealthy. I don't know. Maybe you're bored. Maybe you feel, for me, I felt like my intelligence and ambition was not matching my bank account. right? So either way, I want to really help you implement all these actions consistently so you can deepen your network, you can reduce your overwhelm, and you can start seeing real results. And I love that we have a lot of people that are crushing it on my academy on here. So you can talk about the academy, but we have the Game Changers Academy. And by the way, guys, this is not like, hey, give us money. This is very strategic. We have to be selective here. It's a proven mastermind and step-by-step system to create a life and business on your terms. So I want to invite you guys. This is the first training we've ever done that actually we've invited people. We don't have to do any marketing because people know about this. It's the #1 program, one of the top on the planet. But I want to invite you to apply to the most exclusive and proven networking community on the planet. Okay, not for everybody, but gamechangersmovement.com/yes. You can apply and see if it's for you. All right, it might not be, but I challenge you. This is where you can really step up your game. When we talk about all these people that are 17, 18, 19, making $250,000, making 10 grand a month, they're on the academy. And we have close to 400 testimonials now, which we'll talk about. But here's the deal, guys. This helps you exponentially grow your reach and revenue. It helps you develop a $1 million support network literally overnight because you have access to all the members right when you join. You create a world-class life and business on your terms. And what we've really figured out through our advisory board and through a lot of testing, this is the absolute fastest way to go from where you are to where you want to be while eliminating the frustration, the discouragement, and stress and overwhelm, right? So after working, me personally, with 6,000 plus entrepreneurs, I finally created a complete kind of system for you. So here's what you're going to get. Deep dive actionable training step by step, exclusive mastermind network of over 750 game changers all over the world, by the way. So you'll connect with people like Josh and some other people we'll talk about. You get live mastermind calls monthly. These are very mastery focused. You get elite millionaire mentors. And these, you guys would be proud of some of the people we've turned down that you know of because we don't feel like they're world class, just to be honest. So here's some of the people that we've had that are speaking, that have spoken and that are going to speak in the past or in the future. Vaynerchuk, Tim Ferriss, Ryan Blair, Grant Cardone, Ariana Huffington, Marie Forleo, Tim Sykes, Tony Horton's coming up in a couple days, Russell Brunson, Brian Tracy, Robert Kiyosaki, Ty Lopez, Eric Thomas, John Lee Dumas, the list goes on and on and on and on. So you guys get access to these people live on video where you can ask them questions as well. And they love the academy because of the results it's getting and because we're selective. So this has been time tested. It started in the end of 2012, by the way. So this isn't something me and Austin put together last week. I've also teamed up with Austin to bring a lot of his expertise to the table as well. So there's kind of been a big revamp of the academy, and it's been working since beginning of 2013. And we've been featured in, I'm not going to go through all those things we've been featured in. Why do we have a bunch of testimonials? We've really thought about why we have so many success stories and testimonials and a ton of video testimonials. Well, first, here's why. We are selective and we only accept people that we feel like it will actually help. That people that have some proven results that are serious, not the ones that talk a great game. And almost every mastermind I've been in, and let me know for you, Austin, too, I can tell they accepted anybody, and it wasn't that exclusive. Anyone that would pay them, they're like, oh, I'll accept you. We actually are selective. So when you get invited and you actually get accepted, you're around some game changers and some heavy hitters. Also, new training purposely released every 21 days that's constantly updated. The modules are delivered in a very organized framework. I'm only going to give you the 20% of information that really yields the biggest results for your business as well. And you get a simplified Game Changers action plan. So you don't really have to do a ton of the thinking. You just take the action, right? And everything's based on results, experience, and what's relevant now, not 10 years ago. I actually had an amazing training criteria and course set up, and I redid it a year and a half ago to make it updated and relevant. So we always are updating it as well. You get live interaction with some of the world's most influential people. You get a lot of accountability. And here's what's cool. We have 4 different levels of the academy, and everything's focused on what's best for you. Not what you think's best for you, but what's best for you based on where you're at, where you want to go, your hunger, your ambition. And to be honest, if you don't know what you want to do, like if you don't think you have time, that's probably the reason you need to do this. There's a lot of different trainings based on mindset, on time management, how to think and act like the millionaires, productivity mastery, how to prioritize, right? And what we've done is a lot of people used to say to me, Austin, oh, these programs are too complicated. And we studied 60 or 70 different membership sites to make sure anything that they weren't doing well or people complained about, we actually flipped and made that an advantage and simplified for our academy. So it's very simple when you get in. There's no like, wait, what do I do now? It's a system that's proven and it's very intentional, which is pretty cool. By the way,
that's one of the top comments that people have is that it's very action focused and they don't have to think, right? So they get that clarity. And guess what? When you get clarity, you get confidence. When you get confidence, you get into motion. When you get into motion, you build momentum. When you build momentum, you feel unstoppable. Your income goes up. It impacts every other area of your life. It's just contagious, right? And those are the people that we surround ourselves every single day. And going back to the exclusive part, Peter, like we spend a lot of time with people, so we don't want toxic people in there. We choose people that we want to help, that we want to be around day in and day out. And that's what makes this so successful, is the great people that we have in the academy. Because the training's one thing, right? The Millionaire Mentor Calls is a life-changing thing. But really, it's the power of community. It's contagious to be around amazing game changers from all throughout the world.
So whether you want to quit corporate and start your own business, you're not sure where to start, we have blueprints for that. Whether you want to build an online empire, we have a 3-part video series on how to really get to 7 figures as an online entrepreneur, how to position yourself as the expert. You want to write a book? Austin is, I personally believe, the best. He's helped people like Brian Tracy, and they've pushed 2 million plus books. You can write a book. There's training on that, right? So everything is focused on what's best for you. And something that Jordan Weir's taught me to is use your insecurity as a reason why. Let me explain what that means. When I was looking to invest in mentorship and some programs, I thought I didn't have time or I didn't think I could do it. And he was like, Peter, you got to realize that's the reason you need to do it. And I'm like, oh, shoot. You're right. That's a good point. I didn't, or like when I had an issue with money and I was looking for a mentor, I didn't have much money to spend. And I'm like, shoot, that's the reason I need a mentor. So I never have money issues ever again. So realize if you don't feel like you can do it, that might be the reason you need to apply and see if it is for you as well. And because the most common struggles I've seen the last 12 plus years, number one, inconsistent income. They make income as an entrepreneur, but it's inconsistent and it's not systemized. Number two, here's a big one, no real guidance or proven strategy. Number three, we already talked about, lack real confidence and certainty. Number four, they don't really have flexibility or freedom. So if they are making, like we had a guy join our academy a couple of years ago that was making $300,000 in corporate. And he said, Peter, if you could just help me make 60K as an entrepreneur, I'd be happy because my daughter's coming up to me every day. She's getting older. Dad, I never see you. You're missing my games. So this is someone that's making 300,000, but he'd trade it for 60 as an entrepreneur. That's the things that are happening right now. And it's possible more than ever, right? So what I discovered after 10 or 12 years of training, motivating, and getting to know people, this is why we created the academy. It's going to help you maximize your income on your terms, give you a proven roadmap to follow, gain absolute clarity, and develop an unstoppable confidence. And you're going to achieve more freedom and autonomy than you ever have. So think about this question. How much would this be worth to you? Think about it in the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, in your life in general. Just 6 months or a year on the academy, fast forward 20 years, the trajectory of your life is in a different stratosphere because you've actually been around game changers and invested in yourself as well. And here's what's cool. The academy's already been top notch, but we have a new revamped training. We have a special limited time offer. We have a pretty big discount and over 3K in bonuses as well. And to be honest, Austin, I'm not going to sell them on it too much. If we have to sell you on it, it's not for you. But you guys know who you are. If you're sitting there and you have this nagging pull inside, you're like, dude, I'm meant for greatness. I have to get out of my situation. I got to step up. I got to get around game changers. I got to make sure I'm making more money and taking advantage of this new economy. I have to elevate my network. This is for you. If you're sitting there like, well, I don't know if this is for me, it definitely is not for you. Keep that in mind. Let's go through some testimonials as well, because we're all about testimonials and we can go through these for the next hour. We're just going to give you a couple. 18 months ago, I was jobless. I was determined to start my own business, but I lacked a lot of clarity, of course. Information overload and lack of belief led me to procrastination and self-doubt. I've now been able to build a successful business working on multiple projects with 7-figure earners, and my team's been featured in Forbes. That's pretty amazing. So number one, he got helped with circle of influence, clarity and confidence. Result, he's working with his idols on dream projects. Pretty cool.
That's the process, guys, right? We talked about the number one thing is your circle of influence. Change that, it impacts everything else. All right.
100%.
Mercado joined. He got clarity finally. He got the confidence that he needed. And the result, like his work is featured on Forbes regularly. Amazing, right? He's working with his idols. It's pretty awesome stuff. This is just one of many. Here's Jared.
In 2016, business did 236,000 in revenue. They're looking to go to 750. So he's on pace to 3x his revenue. I'm not going to read all these. So here's what you get, by the way: proven mentors, network of game changers, deep dive actionable training, top tools and tactics, support network, consistent motivation. And to be honest, hopefully you don't need a ton of motivation, but you get consistent motivation, access to Q&A, real world strategies. So gamechangersmovement.com/yes. We will tell you this later, but this will go away pretty soon because we don't do this often. But I'll it's next. But I'll warn you, applications for this special promotion are only open until Monday at midnight. Okay. This is not something we're going to let procrastinators join in on in 3 weeks. Right. So here's what
Here's the deal. Game Changers Academy has been around for a couple years, and it's changed literally thousands of lives directly. And it's been amazing. But what we're doing right now is revamping it. We're taking it to the next level. Peter and I have partnered. We're bringing in my training and my experience and my systems background and engineering background, right, to help people take it to a whole new level. The Millionaire Mentor calls are only getting bigger and better. The accountability is only getting better. So since we just came together, since we are just now revamping everything and taking it to a whole new level, we wanted to do this special training for you, give you a special offer to come join us. Right now, the applications for this special offer for everything that we're including are only available until Monday at midnight. It takes 3 minutes to apply. All right. We'll get on the phone. We review all your applications personally. And we are going to get on the phone, talk about your goals, talk about your business, talk about where you want to go, talk about if this is a right fit. And as Peter said, there's 4 different levels depending on where people are at in their life and business and what they want to accomplish. So it's not a matter of if you're still here watching this, it's not a matter of if you're interested. It's not a matter of if this will help you, right? It's just a matter of you taking action, saying that now is the time. GameChangersMovement.com/yes.
By the way, some of you guys are already on the academy, and I love the dedication to greatness by watching this training. Yes, you get all this new information automatically. So if you're already on the academy, we have a lot of things planned for you. We have Tony Horton, who's worth $20 million. He built P90X coming up Tuesday. We have some amazing mastermind calls. We have Russell Brunson coming up. Grant Cardone speaking again to the academy. By the way, guys, Grant charges $25,000 to $50,000 for a speech. Gary Vaynerchuk charges $100,000. They speak to the academy willingly because they love that it's one of the only groups on the planet that are exclusive, and they know that these members are the future of entrepreneurship. So keep that in mind. But yes, Charmaine, we're going to get you to connect with Austin. She's already on the academy, so you got to connect with her and help her structure her book. There's a lot of cool trainings about writing a book as well. So here's what to do next. GameChangersMovement.com/yes. Fill out the 3-minute application. We'll review the application and schedule a call. We'll dive into your goals and see if it's a good fit. But here's the deal. Imagine learning from the world's elite entrepreneurs and performers, like these kind of people. And here's the cool thing, just to get deep dive here. I challenge these people to bring their A game and don't teach crap that they have on YouTube that anyone can watch for free. They don't teach stuff that you can go watch on YouTube. I challenge them to really dig deep and figure out what can help these young entrepreneurs and these entrepreneurs level up their game, right? I'm just thinking about some of the calls, like Ariana Huffington's call was a John Assaraf's call was a game changer. Tim Sykes, if you want to learn how to maximize, he's making $30 million a year. And a lot of it's from social media. He teaches you exactly how to do that, right? Russell Brunson is, I guess, like you said, Austin, one of the most requested speakers on the planet. And he willingly was like, yeah, I've heard about your academy. I'd love to speak to it. That's amazing, right? You guys get to learn from these people. So keep that in mind. You have two options.
One idea here, right?
Yeah, you don't need all these people to give you feedback. You need one or two people to give you the right feedback.
Exactly. Like the Ryan Blair call that we had, was it 6 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Just game changing. This guy's going to be a billionaire. Like, I guarantee it, right?
Close.
Learning from these types of people, like, wow, this in and of itself, Peter, if we did nothing else, didn't provide the academy, didn't provide the mastermind network, and just gave people access to these alone, guess what? Your life would be changed forever, from motivation to ideas. All it takes is that one major pivot, that one major decision, that one major connection. You guys are close, right? We shared Josh's story earlier. We shared Marcato's story, right? They all had the potential, right? You have the potential. Are you maximizing that potential? Does your ambition match your bank account? If not, you're really close, right? You're really close.
Some of you guys on the right, some of you guys are already in the academy. Share what you like about it. Share why it's different than everything else you've done. Phil loves it. Adrian says, I swear by the GCA, it's the only place I feel like home. I have access to resources and people I would never have. There's people starting mastermind groups within the academy locally. I mean, we can talk about these all day long, but if you're in the academy already, go ahead and share like what's your favorite part of it. Yes, it's a 12-month course commitment. All right, next. You have two options. You can try and figure everything out on your own like I did. You could spend thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars and waste tons of time trying to do it yourself. Or, it sounds so stupid saying it this way. It's like, of course. Or you can get a proven roadmap. You can cut your learning curve in half and you can get to your goals much quicker. But you got to choose. And sadly, it sounds obvious, but sometimes what's obvious is not easy, right? And most people, like 95% of society, do the other one. They try to figure things out on their own.
That's what I do.
And they'd rather spend money on material things to make up for insecurity than invest in themselves to give themselves real confidence to go to the next level.
And I think you said something great earlier, Peter, where you said, what's that insecurity? That insecurity that you're having is the exact reason why you should be a part of something like this, right? Again, I moved way too slow. Yeah, it's a big perspective shift for me. And I was like, I grew up without money. I came out of college with $81,000 worth of debt, which pisses me off, but that's a different story for a different day. Long story short, I was pinching pennies. I had that middle class mindset. But then as soon as I started seeing things as investments, right, that's when my game changed. That's when I let go and said, you know what? Somebody's already done it. I'm going to learn from that. And that's what this opportunity is about. Obviously, it's pretty clear, right? You have two options. Which one's for you? GameChangersMovement.com/yes. Let's go through some real examples, Peter, of real people changing their life, getting real results. And we've got over 400 of these. We're only going to
we're not going to share them all, guys. Sorry. But you get to connect with these people if you get accepted. Over 50K extra in 2 months. 2 months on the academy, 50K extra. Next, Derek Rowe, 90K extra in commissions in 2.5 months. The program is designed to make sure you 10x, 5 or 10x your income and make your money back within the first 30 to 45 days if you take action, right? Next, exponential growth. And we're not going to go through each of these. This is actually a pretty cool story. You can look at all the growth within the first 2 months, right? Which is pretty cool. So you can see a lot of people really elevate in 2 months, and you get a year access, which is pretty cool. I was dead last in my company. He said, not almost the bottom. I'm talking dead last. By the end of June, we were ranked number 1 in the division, literally from the very bottom to the very top. Pretty amazing. What's that Drake song? Started from the bottom, now he's here. That's him. Yep. Anna Dune doubled sales in 4 weeks. Pretty awesome. Let's keep going through. The only question is, what will your story be? We want to create a story of your current situation to where you feel like you can be in the next 30 to 60 days and maybe feature you. And I didn't even tell you this, Austin. So this is a cool, fully authentic news. Entrepreneur.com, they've been reaching out and they want to do a game changer storyline where they fly the game changers over to San Diego where we are. And we just do a story on how they went from where they were before they started to where they are now and feature it on Entrepreneur. So you might be able to be featured, guys, on Entrepreneur Magazine. Entrepreneur loves the academy. and they want to do a story on game changers, which is cool. So every month, I don't know if it's every week or every month, we can pick a game changer and create a story about where they went, literally from zero to hero, and then feature an entrepreneur, which is pretty cool. So we might do a series on that.
That's awesome. But guys, this is what gets me fired up, right? This is why we do what we do every single day, pretty much, if not multiple times per day, Peter. We get stories from people about their breakthroughs. And the thing that really gets me super passionate is the reason why behind the results, right? The money, like, that's all great. Yeah, yes, everybody in the academy makes more money. Most of the time they, exponentially grow their income, but that's not what matters as much. All right. I had you guys all write down why you're here today. I had you think about what that real reason is why. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's freedom. Maybe you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. Whatever it is, that's the result that really drives me. The stories of family, the stories of mindset, the stories of confidence, happiness, purpose, those are the things that are absolutely life-changing together. It's GameChangersMovement.com because we're building a movement. You guys are the leaders, all right? We're building a tribe of people that are going to impact millions and millions and millions of lives. Once you get started, you build momentum. Once you build momentum, you become unstoppable. That's what's possible. All right.
Let's get it. I'm excited. So here's what you get. The Game Changers system. You get $1 million network instantly, literally. You get live mastery calls. You get millionaire mentors every single month. But here's what's cool. We didn't really talk about this. You actually get access to the last 4.5 years of content. So you don't need to do anything else. You have the one-stop, all-in-one resource system to literally focus on mastery for the next year and go all in. You don't need to listen to 17 different podcasts, join 4 other programs, go to all these events where they sell you something else, and at the event they sell you something else, and they sell you 7 other things. No, this is all you need. It's the one-stop shop, which is what we wanted. So people weren't overwhelmed. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and here's what's cool. It's kind of a no-brainer. There's zero risk. Also, there's 100% results guaranteed. If you don't feel like it's going to 10x your value, your income, your success, then you get your money back. So within the first 14 days. So it's kind of like a win-win situation. So let's go through a couple more testimonials. This is Hugo, who just actually had his first book launch. He's doing amazing. And the Academy really changed the game for him. And every time he logs in, he says it's game changing for his personal success. Here's one of his emails that he recently emailed me. I think it was end of last year or middle of last year. I can't believe it was August 29th. It feels like it was a couple months ago. Just closed 25K of business in 1 week, trying to hit my first 100K month now. I remember talking to him, Austin, when he was struggling. His Jetta was breaking down and he couldn't afford it. I don't know if I should say that, but I'm saying it. You know what I mean? And now he's trying to get to 100K a month. He's already done that now, but that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and just this week he became a #1 best-selling author, continuing that momentum, right? But first of all, as we're going through a couple more people here, congrats to Darian, Ronner Lee, Sam, Johnny, Ryan, Jesse. You guys have all applied. I'm trying to pull up the rest of them that are coming in. So guys, keep taking action right now because we haven't even shared a special bonus for those of you that apply right here live. So keep them coming in, but congrats on the fast action takers. You guys are rocking it.
Love it. Before working with Peter, we had 2,000 users. We were struggling to get customers. After one of the live calls, he took my advice. Now, remember, he didn't just take the advice. He implemented. Get that word down. He implemented, and then he skyrocketed. He went from 2K to 200K, which is pretty amazing. So you can learn more. Any questions you have, you can learn GameChangersMovement.com/yes. And guys, these are real examples, real value, real results for real people. Remember that. This is real value, real results for real people as well. Okay. So keep that in mind. We're going to do some questions in a second too. And of course, I love rewarding action takers. Action takers are always rewarded in this economy. Somehow it's weird. Every time you take action and you take a risk, you're rewarded. And it's weird too. The opposite happens when you make it the easy decision or you cut a corner, you're hit in the face sometimes. Right? So for the first 10 people who apply, if you're accepted, you're going to receive the Game Changers welcome package, which is pretty awesome. So here's what you get in it. You get my mixtapes, you get my hardcover book signed, Game Changers flash drive with all of our best documents. You get Game Changers journal. You get my Entrepreneur's Blueprint book. You get an Ambition is Priceless wristband. You get my other mixtape as well as my other mixtape as well as my new mixtape. All of it's focused on crushing your mindset and really elevating your game, your thinking. And if you've listened to my mixtape, it's tactical content and engaging content that'll help you with inspirational music and motivation in the background so you can work out and listen to it. You get all that.
We give you this because we want every cell of your body, your mindset to be just constantly at a whole new level. All right. We want people to be looking at you, be like, man, what the heck changed about Vince? What the heck changed about Darian or Ron or Lee or Sam or Johnny or Ryan or Jesse or Lisa? Right? What, like, that person is on fire. I want whatever the hell they're taking. This is what they're taking. Great content, great people around them, right? Goes back to your environment, goes back to your circle of influence. The number one thing that will lead to your results is who you choose to be around day in, day out. Doesn't matter what age you are. Doesn't matter how much debt you have right now if you're in debt. Doesn't matter even if you're crushing it. We have people that join that are almost to the 7-figure mark, right? Why? There's always another level. Always another level.
So some of you guys have heard me say this, but it's never been more true than this last year of me being in the field, me speaking to 3,000 people at the Atlantis in Dubai, me speaking all over the world, connecting with so many different entrepreneurs. The number one thing that I've seen hold most entrepreneurs back, and I want this to be something that you hear now that you never forget for the rest of your life. This is why most people, when they're 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, have massive regret versus massive pride and a legacy, is because they never, ever tell themselves now matters. They're always like, someday I'll be an entrepreneur. Right now, I got to have security because I have a kid and I have to make 20 grand a year and have someone pay me to give up all my dreams. No, you don't. Right now matters more than ever. I was able to make $300-something thousand at 23 because I told myself now mattered then. Now I see 15-year-olds making $500K a year because they said now matters. They didn't say, I'm going to wait till after high school because that's what some other people did. No, now matters. Josh is saying now matters, which is why he's making 10K a month at 17. Don't let any more days go by without you telling yourself now matters. Most people, when they say now, they don't say now matters. They're living on someday I'll. And guess who's on someday I'll with them? Everyone else that's like, yeah, someday. Hey, let's team up in like 6 months, man. Then we'll go all in. And it never, ever happens. You're at the job you hate for 6 months, and then 2 years, and then 5 years. And then it's harder and harder to create your own opportunity in business. Austin didn't say now mattered right away. But now he says now matters. When he quit his corporate job, he said now mattered, and he built a 7-figure business while traveling the world, right? So you got to understand now matters. Not next week, not next month, now matters. And I'm not saying this so you can go apply right now, and I'm just saying it in general. Now matters. So if you're ever going to elevate your game, you might as well do it now. The next 6 months are going to go by anyways. You might as well make them the best 6 months you ever had. If I ask 100 entrepreneurs, Austin, if we're sitting in a room and we ask 100 entrepreneurs or humans, not even entrepreneurs, how many of you guys are going to crush it the next 6 months and really make sure that you have more success than you've had the previous 6 months? All 100 hands go up. All 100. Confidently. If we fast forward 6 months from now, probably 96, 97 out of 100 will be in the same spot they were, still talking, but maybe with even worse results because they have no momentum. And 3 or 4 will actually have elevated the game because they were the ones that took action and invested in themselves and elevated the network. So it's it. Now matters. I don't know what else to say. I mean, now matters more than ever if you're going to elevate your game. And this is for you if you feel like your bank account doesn't match your ambition, you're not valued at your current position, you're sick of others telling you what you're worth, you're frustrated, you're not reaching enough people and want to grow your influence, already making money, but you want to start an online brand and don't have clarity on what to do next, you feel like your business is running you versus you running your business and you want more control, or you want flexibility and freedom to travel the world, but you're tied to your business. The only real risk here is inaction. So I'm excited to help you elevate your game. And once again, I do want to make this disclaimer, guys. This doesn't mean you're accepted in the academy at all. Like, you still have to prove yourself. And sadly, but the right reasons, some of you guys won't be accepted. But it's going to fire you up more to maybe apply later when you are ready. You know what I mean? But you can't hurt but try. You know what I mean? You're going to get some value even being on the phone with all of us as well. So I'm excited, Austin. I'm ready to create some new game changers these next couple months.
Yep. Guys, we're going to get into your questions now, but we've shared with you some real world results. We've shared with you what you get. The cool thing is, and this has been proven, by thousands of people, this is the entire system all in one, right? If you want to take your income, your business, your reach, your impact, your mindset, your confidence, your network to a whole new level, if you're still watching this, obviously, guess what? The Game Changers Academy is for you. All right. I've seen so many programs out there, and there's nothing that gets more results, nothing that I've seen that I've been more impressed with than the Game Changers Academy. That's why I've come into this, and really we're taking it to a whole new level. We are building a tribe of people that are going to change the world, and it is so exciting. Every single day I talk to some game changers, and we've got amazing people all throughout the world. I just can't believe every single day that we get to get connected to these people. I'm from a small town in Ohio where these people, I couldn't find them. I felt like I was the most ambitious person I know, right? But as soon as I started to see that, there's other people out there, as soon as I started to let go, as soon as I stopped trying to figure it all out myself, guess what? Things became less stressful. I moved faster than ever. And this is what we're going to do together, because that's really it. And our goal is to create success stories. We want to feature you along with the 400 other testimonials that we have, right? We want to feature you in San Diego on Entrepreneur, right?
Let's do some, are you ready for some Q&A? I think we have already gotten some questions, but, and by the way, guys, if you don't have questions and you're ready to just execute, you don't need to create questions if you don't have them. We do want to answer, but make sure you realize it's all about executing what you've already known. So anything that you need clarification on, we're going to hang out a couple minutes to really get your questions answered in the most authentic way possible.
So there were a couple technical questions that came up. Number one, is this a 12-month course? Yes, it's a 12-month commitment to yourself, because here's the real deal. Is we overestimate what we can do in a week, but we underestimate what's possible in a year. Imagine using this system for a year. Imagine having this network for a year. What would your life be like? It's exciting to me, right? Next question. How do I get the bonus package? If you're one of the first 10 accepted, you are going to get the bonus package, which gets you started the right way, the signed books and everything. Next, how do you find the right masterminds that suit your business goals? Number one is the Academy. I'm not sure who asked that. I'm looking at a list here, but obviously, right? If the results that we've shared so far are the results that you're looking for, whether you want to be a social media influencer, whether you want to build your service, or whether you want to increase your sales as a salesperson, you don't even have to be an entrepreneur. There's about a third of people that are not entrepreneurs that are in the community. Guess what? Some of those people are crushing it at a whole new level because they're learning these same exact strategies. It's about building a world-class life, world-class mindset, world-class results.
And Austin too, I used to ask, before I even had the Academy, this was 2009, 10, 11, my mentor said it's very hard to find the right mastermind, but some of the qualifications are they're very exclusive with who they accept.
Yeah.
It's only taught, and the information is coming from people that have proven results, and it's not just thrown together with a bunch of information, it's more of a system. So I took that in mind when I created it. So you have to make sure anything you join, if you don't join the Academy, fine, but you have to make sure it's very exclusive. Not anyone can join, because if there's a big barrier to entry, if there's no barrier to entry, you're going to get people that aren't serious, and you're not going to be able to learn and maximize your time in that actual specific network. And then, of course, make sure the people that are a part of it are world-class in everything they do. So it's funny, a lot of the masterminds, they're like, we have guest speakers. It's all these names I've never heard of. It's who are these people? So here it's like we're going to continue to attract people that you've heard of, right? That are really big in the industry. We're going for the best of the best, like the Mark Cubans and the Richard Bransons and we're actually in contact with Elon Musk to possibly speak. So that's why you have to think about those things when you apply. So good question, by the way, though.
Yep. Next question is, how much time is needed for this on a weekly basis? The answer to that, and then Peter, I'll throw it over to you, is it totally depends, right? So we've got people that, of course, they have commitments. They've either got a job or they've got a business or they've got family or all of the above, right? They've got other things going on. Guess what? If time is an issue for you right now, that's the exact reason why you need to come in. Peter's taught me so much about productivity that it's insane. That alone is worth everything. But
so I'll go ahead. No, I was going to say we've heard every single possible scenario on planet Earth from just getting thousands and thousands of applications the last couple of years. We have a training right when you log in if you get accepted, and it's in the bonus materials on top. You go down to videos. It's called the Weekly Master Plan. That instantly will teach you how to think and act like millionaires, how to prioritize, how to maximize your time. And that 45-minute training with the action guide will save you thousands of hours this next year or two, right? So that's right when you start, it'll help you manage your time right away. And what we'll do on the call with you is this is not just a one fits all. This is like customized for you. So based on your situation, there's different modules to watch and stuff like that as well. So time-wise, honestly, some of our heavy hitters, Austin, that are making 300, 400, 500K now, they only get on the mastermind calls and the millionaire speakers, and they get on maybe once a week to make sure their mindset's top notch, but they're only doing it a couple hours a month. Yep. Some people that are newer are doing it a couple hours a week. And then we have some people based on what they need. They're like maybe an hour in the morning and that's it. And then they get on the millionaire guest speaker calls. But even if you don't have a lot of time and you're literally just on the millionaire call and the mastermind call, which is 2 hours a month, it'll be a game changer. So even 2 hours a month will be a game changer for you. So it's kind of, you got to adapt and adjust and figure out what's best for you based on your situation.
Congratulations, Christian. Congratulations, Carlos. Congratulations, Llewellyn and Jeff. And I'm trying to pull up everybody else. Guys, best decision that you are going to make. We've got John. We've got Connor. We've got them rolling in. Guys, this is your family, right? Real game changers all throughout the world. The other thing about the calls, since we do have people all throughout the world, some of the calls you're not going to be able to make, and that's okay because we record everything. We give you the library, the backlog, so that you can go through. But really, we're focused on giving you the tracks and the steps. For instance, if you want to change your mindset, then we've got, guess what? A proven roadmap that you can follow so you're not overwhelmed, right? One of Peter's biggest things is mastery versus overwhelm. Most people are overwhelmed. We're going to really challenge you to get focused, to trim down what you're consuming, who you're hanging out with, and guess what? That's going to allow you to do more better, right? Next question. Cameron, I'm the type of person to get stuck in my thoughts when I know the only solution is action. What are the questions I can ask myself when this happens to complete the actions?
Yeah, so there's no questions you can ask yourself. You need to predetermine time to act and time to think. Some of the people that overthink things and think a lot, they're like the world's biggest game changers. So I don't want you to be down on yourself for being a thinker. You just have to know when to act and when to think.
And Cameron, one thing that we talked about earlier is your reasons why aren't strong enough. Your pain's not strong enough, my friend. Right? Go back to what you really want to accomplish. For me, my major thing is I wanted money to never be an issue ever again. I grew up in a household where I had stress in my life, right? Why in that stress or why in that household? Because of money. So I made the decision at 8 years old. Nobody at 8 years old should have to make a money decision, right? I should be worrying about playing with some fantasy people that I've made up in my mind, right? But no. So that why was so strong for me that it drove me to make sure that money was never an issue. Cameron, you've got to get clear on your why, my friend. Maybe it's family. Maybe it's freedom. Maybe it's money. Maybe it's something else, right? Figure out not only your tactical or your tangible goals of like what you want as far as success, but what do you want that to lead to? A better life in what way? Okay. Next, accountability, Cameron. If you have people that are checking in on you, asking if you got something done, guess what? You're not going to like saying, no, I didn't do that. I just sat here. No, I thought about it. We're not going to accept that, right? We're going to push you and guide you. And sometimes you're not going to, you're not going to love the messages that we're telling you. Why? Because we have your best interest in mind. We're going to push you outside your comfort zone a little bit because that's where the greatness lies. That's how almost everybody in the academy is having their bank account finally match their ambition, right? Chris, what about those that are completely broke? Peter?
Yeah, this should fire you up more than ever. What I'd recommend, we can maybe connect if you apply. There's a low level that you can probably afford that's for you. And we made it so the lower level, it's not a ton of live interaction, but it's better than nothing. So I would apply and then just put your income in there, and then we'll kind of figure out if the bottom level's for you. And if not, we'll give you an action plan, and then yes, you can apply later. And Tecumseh says, I'm impressed, thankful for finding the shout out from G, for leading you to me in Austin. I want to know how to become the voice of the Academy for African American Community because they don't see things like this. So here's a couple things that make your value and your positioning in the marketplace valuable, Tecumseh. So you have to figure out which one you can go all in on, like your expertise and your perspective, maybe how consistent you are in the marketplace, how current and relevant your brand and what you promote feels, how many raving fans you're creating, and the results you've gotten, like how long you've been adding value, your passion, your energy, your authenticity. If people see you on fire, they're going to come watch you burn, right? So you got to get on fire and get passionate and use the Academy as your stepping stone of maximizing your life, your lifestyle, your business. People always ask, how do I motivate my friends, my family, my mom, dad? You don't. You live your best life, and then they'll be motivated from your action. So you live your best life. So that for you, I would love to have you be the voice. Just got to make sure you continue crushing your results and you continue simplifying your content, being in the marketplace, creating raving fans, making your brand relevant and new, and continuing to use the Academy content to elevate your game so you become a success story. I mean, that'd be amazing to see that. So that's kind of some ideas on how to make your positioning more valuable.
Exactly. Congrats, Mary. Congrats, Connor, Joshua, Dean, Ashley. Guys, so pumped to review these applications in detail. So pumped to see your goals, what you want to accomplish. And we are here for you. Next. Great question from Rajdeep. How to deal with continuous lack of results and how to stay motivated and strong through that phase. Any thoughts, Peter? Because I've got some thoughts.
Well, first you gotta admit to yourself, everyone that has results now once didn't. First of all. Second, you have to admit to yourself, tough times don't last. Tough people do. So it's just ripping up your script, not even focusing on your past anymore, but educating yourself on why you are where you are. That's the first step. Why are you not getting results? And then totally taking a different approach to your business. Obviously investing in yourself, getting around higher level people. And once you identify exactly why you aren't where you want to be, then totally sell yourself on a new vision. Write down your most compelling reasons of what drives you. Write down your 5 or 10 most compelling reasons of why you want to be successful. And look at that reason, look at those reasons daily. Let the reasons drive you, not your current circumstances. You do that, you build momentum, you'll be good.
Yep. Rajdeep, let me ask you this. Are you using a proven strategy? Because my guess is that you don't have a specific roadmap that you're following, right? If you follow the roadmap that Peter would share with you or that I would share with you, do you think that you'd get continuous lack of results? No, that's usually the place to start, Rajdeep. Get a proven strategy. Stop trying to figure it all out yourself. Do what's proven to work, because if you do that, the actions are pretty simple. The second thing is back up a little bit, guys. We're in this for the long run, right? You should be in this for the long run for sure. Okay? So what I'm saying here is, like, my first goal when I came out of college is I wanted to be a millionaire in my 20s. All right? And if I started to think about how to make $1 million when I was deep in debt, making nothing, guess what? I would have been overwhelmed by that process. I would have felt like, I didn't know where to start, or I didn't know exactly what to do. But when I backed it up and said, you know what, I don't need to make $1 million right this second. I just need to make $1. How can I make that dollar? And I backed my goals up to something low, Rajdeep, that I knew that I could accomplish, that I knew that I could get, because I was going to build momentum. I was going to build confidence, right? And then I build it up and up and up and up and up. So do those two things. Get a proven strategy, something that has been proven to work, and break down your goals so that you actually at first lower the hurdle. Of course, your long-term goal is going to raise because you're going to see other people's results. You're going to see the mindset shifts that you're going to have, but back up your goal to set yourself up to win, to build that momentum. Adrian, I'd love to see your question again, please, because I don't have it right in front of me. Okay, great. Great question here. Got it. I got it, Adrian. You document everything now, your success. In hindsight, would you document where you are at ground zero? If so, how? Peter, any thoughts on that?
Yeah. So I think what's relevant now is yes, documenting everything from ground zero, like documenting your change, your shift of mindset, what you're going to do differently, and documenting your failures and your successes. I think that's what people really want to see. And you can document through journaling, through a blueprint, through video, through audio, and put that out there. Like Gary Vee's doing that a lot. He's documenting his journey, not just giving advice. I'm also documenting my journey. I wish I would have, Adrian, documented my ground zero and my start. That would be so valuable to me and other people right now. Yeah. So for sure, I would do both, because I think more than just giving advice and tips, people like to see people in the grind, in the trenches, working their way up to becoming successful. So does that answer your question? Do you have any thoughts, Austin?
No, I do have some thoughts. Here's the first thing, Adrian, is like at first when I started out my online business, I was like, who am I to talk to somebody? Who am I to share this advice and whatnot? But what you've got to realize is that no matter where you're at in your business, in your life, guess what? There's people that are 3 steps behind you, right? People that you can help. So even if you don't feel like you made it, if you don't have the network that Peter does, don't worry. There's people that you can help. Share your struggles, share your story. People connect with that and share with them. Be authentic and transparent as you go to the next level and take them on that journey with you. Guess what? 18 months ago, we weren't teaching people how to build 7-figure businesses, right? But we took people on that journey, and guess what? Now we teach people how to build 7-figure businesses. Not only to get to 6 figures, which was 6 months to 6 figures, right? How to get to the next level. So we're taking people on that journey with us, and we're documenting it. But at the end of the day, it is a great thing to document, but there's not too much that you need to do. But what I would have done if I started back over, Adrian, is I would really share some of the major pains of where I was at, because once you do start to learn more, you start to forget a little bit about where people are at. That's why Peter and I interact with the Academy members so much, because we want to have a really good pulse of exactly where they're at in their life, exactly what their family issues are, exactly what their mindset issues are, their confidence issues are. That gives us a great pulse of how to help them. So it's very important to understand that.
Good question, though. That's a good.
David, awesome question here. What's the best way to get your spouse on board with you to change your situation? You already addressed this a little bit, Peter, but come back to it again.
Just share the vision and make sure she's involved. So it's like, hey, you're going to be seeing a lot of sacrifice, a lot of late nights, early mornings, but I really want a better life for us. And then admit some things maybe you haven't been doing well. Like, I haven't been fully engaged. I haven't been focused because I feel like our potential is so much higher. So just share the vision of where you want to be, understand what her core values are, and make sure you connect with those core values. But make sure she realizes everything you're doing is for us. I want a better lifestyle for us. The reason why I'm working 80 hours right now is so we never have to work again. You don't have to have a boss. Mm-hmm. So connect her to a vision that's bigger than just you two. And then start having her visualize the life that's possible if she is fully supportive. And I would say too, like I said, and I don't really care about anything except your support. So your support is where I get my fuel. So I have to make sure that you're supportive and I need your help. So include her in that as well.
Yep, exactly. And set boundaries, set guidelines of, I'm going to be doing this on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm off limits because I'm just going to be hustling on the vision, babe. This is for us, right? Share that, set those boundaries, have that open communication. Like one of the things that we talked about was making the tough decisions, right? Part of that is having the tough conversations. It's not fun. But there was a study done, I actually shared it in the academy a couple of weeks ago, of like one of the top related drivers of success was your ability and willingness to have tough conversations, right? If you can make sure that you finally make the decision to have that tough conversations, because I guarantee we all need to have those things, right? Again, I shared the example of even every single month, probably every single week, I need to also have those conversations with people. So it doesn't go away, it just changes.
Sandra, let me answer your question. Would you say some industries are more scalable than others? Of course. You just have to look at the top people in the industry and see if they're scaling their business, if they're working from home, or if they're working in an office. So that goes along with just studying the people that have similar lifestyles and values that you do. One of the biggest, most important factors for every single thing I did from 2012 on was I did not want to work for someone else. You could not pay me $100 million cash to have someone else tell me what to do. You couldn't. Someone out, hey, 100 million, right? Nope, can't do it. Sorry, not worth it. So that was something that it was important to me. So for me as an entrepreneur, I was like, I need to make sure that everything I do, A, is on my terms. B, I love traveling. So instantly, these 7 industries that I might have liked, I had to X out because A, I had a boss, B, I couldn't travel when I wanted. So you just got to figure out who in the industry that you look up to and respect that's living a lifestyle that you want to emulate, and then see what industry there is, and then make sure it matches your values and go all in on that. But there's a ton of industries that are scalable and a ton that aren't. So you just got to kind of look at what people are doing.
And Sandra, this is something that gets me pretty fired up. And this is part of the reason why Peter and I partnered, because he's really, 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 really the best in the world at some things. And I've gone all in on some different things. And together, that's why we are going to have 10x results that we're having now already. So much success, right? Scale is one of those things that I'm just super passionate about. So your business model, how to create a scalable business, starting from scratch with something that's going to scale. I've got some major failures about things that won't scale. I built an agency that I cut off our major income stream that was sometimes $100,000 per month. You imagine just making a decision, say, yep, that's done overnight, cut it off. That's a lot of money. Our cash flow went straight down. But why did I do that? I was focused on scale. So I'll teach you both through my trials and tribulations exactly what to do to create something. And we're building an empire, and we'll take you guys on that journey of what we're doing actually behind the scenes, from a marketing, from a networking, from a strategy and partnership standpoint. Every single thing, we're open, and we want to teach you guys exactly what works today, right now, in today's environment. Awesome. Final questions, guys. We're going to go ahead and wrap up here. It's been nearly 2 hours. All right.
Jeez.
Go back to the main idea. Your circle of influence impacts everything that you do. Your circle of influence is either your reason for success or your reason why you're not having the success that you want. This is what happened for Peter. This is what happened for me. This is what happened for, we probably featured 20 people. For those 20 people as well, as soon as you change that and take that to the next level, your results shortly follow. And it doesn't take 6 years. Most of the results that we shared were within 45 to 60 days. Crazy, crazy stuff. And that's when it becomes fun, right, Peter? Like when you have momentum, like your opportunities right now, the opportunities that you turn down, we would laugh at, right? But that's when it becomes so much fun. Not only are you making more money and impacting more people, but at the end of the day, it's about living your dream life, right?
What I've realized that's motivational for me too is being able to say no to anything you want and only taking things on that keep you engaged and you love. Like once you get to a certain level and you have the right team and the right system in place, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. There's still some hustle and grind, but it's amazing. And when you're at that level of consciousness, you're so much more creative. You're so much more aware. You're so much more fulfilled and happy that it's amazing. And you'll realize that you just want to give back. You just want to help other people, because it's hard to think like that when you're not making money yourself. You have to make a lot of money to realize it's not about money. But it's a cool place to be. And the reason we're doing this is because there's just never been a better time to actually make it happen than now. It was really, really hard 10, 20 years ago, even harder 50 years ago. But geez, now it's just like, it's not that hard if you actually have the right roadmap.
Yep.
It really isn't. But you have to actually invest in yourself and get over some fears and change that circle. And we're willing to help you do that, but you have to take some action too. So I'm excited. Thank you guys for being on the webinar. I hope you guys got massive value. We always come from a place of massive value. We made a promise years ago that if we ever do free content, we want to make sure it's better content that most people pay thousands for. And hopefully you guys got that. You know what I mean? And obviously, if anything's ever paid, it's going to be 1,000 times the value that we ask for as well. So I'm excited for you guys. Have an amazing rest of the day. Austin, thanks again for being world-class and continuing to elevate your game and really mastering your craft. We have a lot of people to impact, an exciting future this next couple months. So I'm excited. I'm all in.
Applications are open until Monday at midnight, but right now Peter, let's make sure that the team knows for the next couple minutes, anybody that applies basically while we're on here live. So we'll extend it until 1 o'clock our time, Pacific time. So that's 5 more minutes. Go ahead and apply right now. GameChangersMovement.com/yes. The first 10 that get accepted are going to get that welcome package and a couple other special bonuses that we're going to send you. So I'm super, super excited for you guys. Congrats, Daniel, Caesar, Blake, Ashley, and the last few people that applied. I haven't still seen everybody. So we're super excited to review your applications. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Peter. We'll see you on the inside.